Hi, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ira?
Good, good. Now, you're out in California?
I am.
Nice, nice. Okay. I'm here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona.
You're on my home turf.
Yeah, are you from here originally?
I raised my boys in Page.
Oh, okay.
I lived in a
Nice.
in a beautiful part of the state that isn't quite as hot as Scottsdale.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
on the lake. 5 minutes from the lake.
Oh, nice.
Rough, right?
How long how long ago did you move from there?
We moved to El Dorado County in California about 15 years ago, but
Okay.
I come back all the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's my happy
Nice.
place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, that's a beautiful part of Arizona. And in August, since the middle of the summer, you don't get that overwhelming heat that just takes all your energy.
It gets nearly as hot as you guys, but we got the lake to go jump in, so it's
Yeah,
tolerable when you can do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Nice, nice. Well, good. Yeah, I got a chance to look at your profile, and looks like you're doing some really interesting things out there, making a difference.
Trying. I have to say, I was planning on meeting with Austin, and then I got this lovely call from Ethel and was really excited to talk to you. And I made the mistake of watching your dang videos before this call. And music impacts me in really strong ways. And I just am feeling kind of emotional.
Yeah, what?
Music really impacts me, and the little I'm sorry, the little clips that you had on your LinkedIn profile, they just they've got me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, it's all about, storytelling and making the connection uh really it's all about if you don't feel something from what you're receiving, then it's really not all that effective.
It's not a good idea to come into a business meeting with somebody you don't know. That wavelength of like, oh, Kim.
Anyways, well, yeah, no, I was looking forward to meeting you, and so I love to learn more about. No, I'm glad that you watched a couple of the videos. It gives you a better understanding of what we're about.
Yeah,
Um, we've been at this for a long time, about 16 years, and for me, this is clearly a passion project. Um,
same.
I retired about 16 years ago. I sold my last company, and I lasted about maybe 4 weeks.
Couldn't do it, could you?
I realized I wasn't very good at retirement. So, yeah, I really, I love, I'm like you do, I know, love helping other people. And there's a big void when you just suddenly stop that. So
Yeah, it's not survivable.
it really isn't.
No.
And now if you're digging ditches for a living, yeah, I think I want to
Yeah.
retire. But tell me about your business. I'd love to learn, who do you serve and how do you actually help your clients? I was very curious.
Yeah. So I relaunched. My business isn't new, but I relaunched just in the last week or two. Um, I actually started in education. I was one of the first remote executives in online learning for University of Phoenix. Helped
Oh,
co-author the national standards of online learning technology. So I was heavy embedded in the education world. And as sometimes happens in for-profit companies, University of Phoenix made a decision. They're owned by the Apollo. Well, you know this. You're in Phoenix. You know this story. The Apollo Group, the big behemoth of education industry, dabbled in high schools and within just a very short couple of years, decided that was not the game that they needed to be in, and exited. When they exited, Insight Schools, who I represented, and set up virtual schools across the country and rewrote accreditation standards and compliance and that sort of thing, they were purchased. I think they changed hands 3 or 4 times. They now belong to K-12 Inc., which is the gorilla in the K-12 marketplace for-profit education, and my position became redundant. So and I don't know how this all happened, but Tony Robbins and Chet Holmes were teaching about education-based marketing, and they didn't have an educator. That's a tricky sell. That's a really
Yeah.
tricky sell. So they asked if I was willing to take the leap and try business, and I'd started my career in business and then changed my mind and went into education, and I thought, it's time for a new adventure. And so I served for Business Breakthroughs International with Chet Holmes and Tony Robbins, and did business mastery with Tony. And Chet asked me to research and write Tony's education-based marketing, and so I was privileged to get a lot of behind the scenes, and sat next to Sage for most of Tony's business mastery that session, and really got some beautiful inside knowledge and vision into where they'd like to take it. And then tragedy struck, and Chet came down. Chet got leukemia and passed
Yeah.
away within a very short time. And as a result, things just got ugly in his company. People that he had really trusted and relied on didn't end up being his friends, and were not kind to his family. And so several of us branched out and formed Legend People, and we operated as a consulting tribe. And I honestly was the only one that got along with all of the big business consultants, because they're a bunch of lead dogs in the pack, and they don't play well all the time
Right. Right.
together. So
Everybody
I was
wants
the
to be
neutral party.
everybody wants to be the alpha dog.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be your alpha. And so I'm the alpha by default, because I'm the only one they can all get along with. And I'm like, I never signed up for this part. So we did a lot of good work, but when COVID hit, um, I I made a very poor financial decision, but one that I would do over again. I shut the doors of Legends, and I took on pro bono school clients, and I helped them transition. My husband also, he's the president of the Small School Districts Association, and we have made it our life's work to make sure students are able to learn wherever they are and whoever they are. You've probably seen some of our work. We transitioned most of the tribes in Arizona into one-to-one laptops so that they could have quality instruction. And we brought the tribes, the Apache, the Pima, the Navajo, we brought their learning scores up to above average in the state of Arizona. And my husband received a lot of recognition for that. I co-presented with the Navajo Nation Department of Education at the National Indian Education Association.
Oh,
But so for COVID, I went back to education, but I didn't ask. I couldn't take money for it. I just couldn't. And so we literally worked ourselves to death. I was asked to present by the Digital Learning Collaborative at the very first in-person seminar in 2022. And my husband and I designed a system called crisis agnostic design. And we taught that to school leaders, but I believe it's applicable to everyone. And the principle behind it is, instead of feeling like you're always reacting and always fighting a fire, how about we expect the fires? How about we do some controlled burning? How about we plan for the unexpected? And so when it hits us, we're not shaken to our core. I listened the night that schools got shut down. My husband was, I am a school administrator in a small school in Bogachito, Mississippi. My school was already fully distanced, so we really were not affected by it. Actually, our business was helped by it. But I listened to superintendents break down. The people that have to be the strong ones for the communities, especially small communities, those communities rally around a school and they just didn't know what to do. The weight was crushing. And so we developed some resiliency programs. We developed this crisis agnostic design, fluid instruction. We brought in online learning. It was a heavy, heavy lift. And so that's what I taught about in the spring. And I didn't follow my own advice. I was very egotistical. I was very arrogant, and I drove myself to my own stroke, and I had a stroke in September of that same year. I have had my cognitive function back about 6 months, and I'm guarding it very carefully. I can't not work. I can't not share. I can't not make a difference, but I have committed to myself and my family that I won't ever put myself into that position again where I'm doing so much constant heavy lifting that it takes me out of commission. I was in a cocoon for 2 years and
Oh,
barely talked to anybody. I lost my left side. I sing. And I went to go sing at church, just a regular hymn. I opened my mouth and there was nothing there. And I was devastated. Just heart shattered. And so I isolated, I hid from the world. At one point, my husband bought me an RV, a little 23-foot RV, and I moved. You'll appreciate this. I moved off grid to Grand Staircase National Monument, as off grid as you can get. I couldn't stand to be touched. I couldn't stand to talk to anybody. I could barely tolerate light. And I wasn't being well treated by the medical community. I was terrified of them by the time we were getting through this. And I just hid from the entire world for 3 months with my horses out in the desert. And I would get up and I'd grab my horse's mane and he would be my crutch and he would walk me and we'd reteach my left side how to walk, how to think, how to be again. And I mean, it's sacred time and I spent it in my sacred mountains and my sacred desert there. And I am so grateful for the healing, but I'm honestly, I know I have to do this. I know I have to be the front of legends, but I can't put myself back in a position where I am the be all and end all.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the
Self care.
scoop.
Yeah. What a story. Wow. I mean, what a story to share. I mean, with others, coming back from adversity, not giving up, hanging in there, battling, what you're just not going to accept defeat,
I did
whatever.
give up. I completely gave up. And my husband and my 3 boys refused to let me. I did not want to come back. It was just too hard. I didn't want to. So I did it for them. I don't want anybody to think that I was some hero in this because I wasn't. I was terrified and all I wanted to do was hide and never come back to society.
But you found a way.
They loved me back into it. They
Wow.
just wouldn't let me disappear and they're the reason. They're the reason I have my brain back. They're the reason that I feel like I can make a difference again, but I'm taking it so cautiously. I've been a hired gun. I've been a political assassin. I have been the right arm to a lot of major corporations. And I need to be really cautious because um, when I lost 3 years of memory and I lost a lot of cognitive processing, it took a lot to get it back. And the thing that disturbed me the most was I remembered being smart. And I kept saying to my husband, if God was going to take my intelligence, that's what I am defined by. If he was going to take it, why couldn't he at least erase the part of my memory that knew I used to be smart? Why is that fair? Take it all. If you're going to take it, take the whole damn thing.
Yeah. Well, based on your ability to articulate this incredible story, you certainly you certainly have not lost your intellect. Not even.
Thank you.
So yeah, so you're back. You're back.
I am.
Wow, that's fantastic. And working with Tony and Chet, what a once in a lifetime opportunity. Just
We did not get along. I don't want you to think we were buddies. We did not
well,
get along. We butted heads every step of the way. But I think that's why they hired me. I
yeah,
don't think they
well,
wanted a yes man.
you challenged them, and I know some people that worked with Tony, and he's not easy to work with at all.
I'm
And
5'2", Ira. And here's this giant of a man. And we're like, he's like, this is how we do it. I said, not if my name's on it, Tony. This is how we do it. Not if I build it, Tony. This is not how we roll.
wow,
It was fun.
yeah.
He never held it
Let's
against me.
Well, I'm sure he had a lot of respect that you would challenge him rather than everyone just, yesing everything that he says. And
Right.
so that's, let's talk about your business.
Okay.
Uh, one of my, one of my superpowers is I'm really, I love helping people jumpstart businesses. I'm really good at helping people take those steps that they need to take. I've been an entrepreneur for over 50 years. Um, I've helped a lot of people make quite a bit of money. And so I really enjoy helping people, lifting them up, because once you do that, you talk about making a difference because you eat, sleep, and breathe your business and it becomes part of your identity. If you can help someone get that momentum back, and it's all about momentum. You know, if a jet airplane's going 5 miles an hour down the runway, it's going to have a hard time flying. So it needs that velocity and speed. So, do you have any current clients right now, or are you just starting from the very beginning?
The answer to that is really complicated. I have done a lot of projects, but for as I was recovering, I was unwilling to put my name on them in case
Okay,
in case it was bad. I thought, I don't know if I trust my own work anymore. But I think that they came out really good. Um, I I had a business partner who had some health issues and had to step back. And so it put me in a position. It's literally been, I think, 2 weeks today. It put me in a position where I probably should have been all along. Um, and my husband lectures me on this constantly that I need to not be number 2 and quit trying to look for a number 1 that I can be a number 2 too, and just accept the fact that the theories that we teach, the methods that we teach, I'm just going to have to be the front, and I've accepted it.
okay,
But I've accepted it with some qualifications that I will do it with team. I am unwilling to be a solopreneur. I just won't do it anymore. It doesn't make sense for my lifestyle. I accept that I'm back in bootstrap mode. However, I'm never going to bootstrap like I did when I launched
yeah,
Legend People. I'm not going to do it that way. I feel like I've gained some wisdom in it. I am not in a financial pinch. I am not in a desperate situation of any kind. I have a pipeline that's going. I have team around me that theoretically have clients in the works. It's going slower than I would like it to, but at the same time, I have a lot of realistic perspective on it because it's been 2 weeks since I actually launched it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You know,
yeah. I mean, come on.
I
All
mean,
right.
and
So
here we are, Ira. You're meeting with me, so I must have done something right.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't do a lot of these meetings. And so, I've got a team of 35, and so we're very busy right now. So, uh, the luck of the draw, you wound up with me, so you're stuck with me today. But I don't believe I don't believe in accidents. I think everything is very serendipity. So it's just interesting that you and I are talking and you're sharing this, amazing story with me. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of give you an overview. And just I want to give you some perspective here on how you can do this without really without going into overwhelm.
Yes.
And I think that's that, and I'm hearing you here. That's very important. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull up your profile. So if someone Googles you right now, um, Kimberly, they're going to get your LinkedIn profile. That today is actually more important than, say, an elaborate website. And there's all kinds of data to support that. Let's see here. Got to get having some issues with my Zoom. Zoom is, I think the whole planet's
It's
using
been really
Zoom right now.
glitchy.
Yeah, Zoom is kind of, here we go. All right. Let's see if this works now. Okay, here we go. Um, Very nice photo. You look very approachable, professional. What's your legend? Great question. I like is this part of your logo then?
I'm
I
adopted
like it.
into the Navajo Bear Clan.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. I like the term persuasion expert. I'm kind of a wordsmith. And so I saw that earlier and I wrote that down. I thought, okay, I like that.
Thank
You
you.
got 5,700 connections. That's a lot of people. If a fraction, say 1/4 of 1% became a client, you'd have more business than you could handle. So the key is, how do you tap into that, get them off of LinkedIn to talk to you, potential clients. Your about section, we would go through and, yeah, very nice. We'd maybe update that. One of the things, Simon Sinek had a great quote: people
He's
do
one of my
business with,
favorites.
yeah, I love him.
Yes.
I love him. He's fantastic. I mean, he's so bright, he's so smart, he's so insightful, but he
And
had a
funny.
great quote. Yeah,
Like
he
his
is.
sense of humor is something else.
Yeah, but it's very, very low. It's just very smart humor, and he's just kind of. It's like he says something in the back of his mind, he's laughing and smirking, even though you don't see it on his face. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a little. He's got a little sarcasm in there, but in a positive way.
I'm a
But he
fan.
had one quote. He said, "People work with you. They do business with you not only for what you do, but why you do what you do." And you have a great story to tell. So we would make sure that that's in here. Next, we would maybe you would add. You got some good content in here,
Will you
some
look at
video.
that one and give me an opinion? Will you come back? This is something new we're doing.
Right, this one here.
Nope, the one before that.
Okay, let's see here.
And we just announced it. During COVID, I introduced the concept of upcasts, and it's just fallen into it. We're doing it because I keep
Okay.
having these great conversations. That one with the Antelope Canyon in the back.
Okay. All right, let's take a peek.
There's a song, so you gotta listen to it.
These are the voices rising through time, in the rhythm, fire in the line, from silence to signal, from echo to flame. Legends don't whisper, they rise with the name. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. This is the voices of legends. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. This is the voices of legends. This is the upcast. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. Voices of legends. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. This is the voices upcast. Of legends. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. Voices of legends. This is the upcast.
Wow. I got I got cold chills.
That makes me happy.
Wow, that's, I mean, that talk about music moving you. I mean, that really triggers. If you watch that and that doesn't trigger something inside of you, you should probably check yourself into the hospital.
Mm. So I
Wow,
thought
that,
that's what we were doing today was I was interviewing you for a segment of that because I'm doing some research that I'll publish later this year of legendary thinkers, people who have been there, done that and made an impact. And then I've got like a 10-second Voices of Legends, this is the upcast, 10 seconds intro, the interview, and then I play that full closeout song at the end. And I've got about five in in the editing bay.
Oh, okay. All right. Um,
But what do you think as a concept?
um, well, let me ask you this question. You're taking on new clients right now, right?
Correct.
So who is this? Who is it? Where is this video going to go? To who? And what would you want to have happen because of the video?
So I've been being approached by people asking me to keynote for them. So it's been a while since I've keynoted, so I don't really have a lot of good current video on it. And so this is a way for me to substitute for speaker reels, essentially. For me
Okay.
to That's one thing. The other thing is, as a researcher, I feel it my professional obligation to document patterns of leadership. And all of my books are about that. They are an ancient legend. I studied different uh, Aboriginal tribes across the world, and then I take one of their legends that is one of their favorite stories that has been passed along by oral tradition for hundreds of years. Then I illustrate it, I tell the story, I give credit to the tribe, and then I turn it into a business fable. So I have those books. Then I have courses that teach people how to write their own legend. Legends is a persuasion formula, sort of like Hero's Journey, sort of like Michael Lewis's story brand. Very unlike what I used to write core stories with because they were all pain based. This is intended so my master's work and my doctoral work was on studying the patterns of communication and pulling out the patterns that if we study that ancient communication, it proves that we have so much more in common with one another than what our modern day would paint.
Right.
When we get to the roots of each race, each ethnicity, each continent, each country, our stories flow the same. And even when I was asked to do work for a nonprofit out of Iraq to return their thinkers and their educators and their business leaders because they were assassinated or they were kicked out. I'm losing the word. What were they? Expelled
Excommunicate,
expelled from the
excommunicate,
country.
yeah. Deported,
Yeah,
excommunicated,
yeah, like they banished. They were banished.
and banished. Yeah.
They were banished. And so they lost their intelligence there. And so we were asked to put together a 3-week training. And I thought, oh, if anything is going to break the formula, it's going to be Middle East. And I thought surely that I was going to run in to an ancient culture that I couldn't match the formula to. It wasn't true. I researched the ancient Shia, I researched all the Persian tribes, and story after story after story still follows that same principle. And because of that, as humans, we are subconsciously programmed to recognize the truth of that formula at an instinctual level. So I want to teach that.
Okay.
I have
So,
books, I've printed workbooks. I've put 99 cents on them. Like I want people to know how to communicate with people they don't think they can get along with. Because that's fallacy. It's just not true.
see, see, right now, because of we live in this world of chaos and uncertainty more than ever before,
We do.
and Warren Buffett has a great quote. He said, "Anytime you have massive chaos, confusion, and disruption, you have amazing opportunity."
You do.
And it's the old "never let a good crisis go to waste." So
Yeah,
where there's pain, there's opportunity. And so
absolutely.
you're a problem solver. You come in with that solution. As far as keynoting, I think you have a great, the hero's journey, the comeback from the phoenix coming from the ashes. I think that you have they love comebacks. So I think there's all kinds of really interesting things. I guess my question is, how are you going to how do you want to monetize this, and who's going to pay you? And that's really my superpower. Is I help people really, really 10x what they're doing as far as revenue.
So here's my sources of revenue that we have planned out. Keynoting is a source of revenue, but I don't think I'm getting rich off of keynoting. Keynoting is an opportunity to share the message. Keynoting is a marketing strategy. I believe I should be paid for it because I'm dang good at it, but it's not a main revenue stream. My main stream of revenue, I believe, should be the courses and the memberships where clients, and I built it so my very first Legends client was Costco. And that happened because when Chet passed away, we were mid-project with Costco. It was the biggest project they'd ever sold. And Costco had gotten used to me as the director of research. And when I was no more there, Costco wanted to back out. And so they just, for whatever reason, my brand new company got the biggest deal on the planet. And I wrote Costco's legend of the small business entrepreneur. And it was amazing. And I have great results to show from it. But my main source of business is the courses. It's the DIY Legends guidance, where we take thought leaders or companies through a vision quest, and we teach them how to write their own legend in a way that communicates subconsciously. We teach them proper casting, and then we show them how to execute that. We have 3 tiers that we operate on. We operate on a DIY walk beside you level for $15,000. We have a basic tier level. This is for probably 3 million to 10 million annual revenue businesses. This makes sense for it. It's a $35,000 package, and we have a $60,000 done for you. That's the price we charged Costco. I mean, I guess we could have charged them more, but that $60,000 gives them detailed research in the format that we talk about. So we teach them this formula: landscape, the once upon a time, and then we research it. What is going on right now that affects what you're doing in your business, that affects your core target market? We do a target market analysis. That's actually the first thing we do. And we teach that organization that they don't get to be the hero of their own story. It's just not allowed. As soon as you do that, you relegate your target market to the role of victim. And when you subconsciously communicate to your target market that they are broken, they hate you for it. You might have the solution, but they're mad at you for pointing out how broken they are. And now those sales calls are really gnarly. So if we can shift their mindset to, I am a guide. I am committed to guiding, and I see that target market as heroic. I admire what they've accomplished. I admire what they're doing. I honor their struggle. I honor their fight. And I think I might have a way to make it easier. I think I might have a way that I can support them if they're willing and want me to walk beside them. Now that's permission-based marketing. Now you teach them cause-based marketing. Now you teach them to approach marketing and communications, and it flips the script too internally. You speak to your internal clients as the heroes of your company. You are the guide to these heroes that are doing amazing work. So that's kind of where we go. So once upon a time, there was a dragon. Great hero was called to fight the dragon. Essential guides were called to support the dragon, support the hero on his quest to fight the dragon, or her quest. Secret weapons, new paths, new talents, skills they already had but didn't know they had. Chapter 6 is something that most people skip. That's the dangers chapter. In our world, we believe the cruelest thing you can do to a hero is put rose-colored glasses on them and send them on their way. because inevitably there's a snake on the side of the road that they didn't see because they weren't paying attention, and they never even get to fight the dragon because they died on the way. And then chapter 7, everybody knows and loves, and they all lived happily ever after. What are your successes? What are your ROIs? What KPIs are you fighting for? And then we do the research to verify whether or not our casting is correct. Do we have the right target market? Is that guide the right guide for that heroic target market? And if we've got a mismatch, there are no sales. You can't sell if you're not the fit. And
Right. So I love what you've put together here. I mean, this is really well thought out. It's brilliant. Um, there's a tremendous need. So you're selling a very high ticket um, product, a service. And so I would say 99% of your success, because everything has changed since COVID. I mean, everything. Um, 99% of your success is not even going to be, and what you've put together here is brilliant. I mean, most of our clients are coaches or consultants. I mean, we've got like Mark Cuban from Shark Tank, Sharon Lechter, Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Yeah.
Robert Key.
Right.
We've got a lot of those, big names. Les Brown. We've worked with all those people. They come to us because they trust us. But the big 99% of your success is going to be, how do you get people off of LinkedIn for an actual meeting? Because that's the number one pain point that we're hearing from everybody.
I
Getting
believe it.
meetings is really the sticking point. So it's like having a beautiful Mercedes that suddenly appeared in your driveway with a bow on it from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But there's one problem: there's no gas in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sit in there and turn on the radio, you can shine it, you can polish it, but you can't drive it. So we're all about I'm very pragmatic when it comes to business. You've got to have the meetings. I believe you've got something here that uh, is very saleable. But the key is leads are like oxygen. So where we come in is we're very good at helping you get people that are a fit for you, that have maybe you're looking for the 3 to 5 million to $10 million company or beyond, and get you in front of those people.
Yeah.
Where we literally, we have two programs. One is a done for you, where we message out, we follow up. We're in front of your audience about 25 times during the year with content that you've already created. It might be, hi Kimberly, hope all is well. Here's here here's a little article out of one of my workbooks I thought you'd really find enjoyable and resonate with you. Here's my calendar link. If you have if you like to have a call. Now what happens is, over a period of time, you're building up a lot of brand awareness, a lot of goodwill, a lot of trust. And it's like the guy that meets the girl and sends her flowers all year long. Every time she gets the flowers, she thinks of him. So every time they get that amazing content, it's not pitchy, it's not salesy, it's a very soft approach, which is in alignment with who you are.
It fits me.
It's very soft. And so what happens is, there's a thing called the law of balanced reciprocity, where you give and give and give. People intuitively, subconsciously want to reciprocate because it's out of
They do.
alignment.
Right.
And so what happens is, imagine for a moment you wake up in the morning, you have people that are your perfect prospects that are booked into your calendar. So if we do it done for you, we book the meeting, we confirm it. All you do is show up. We do all the heavy lifting. It's an amazing program. That way so like in 90 days, you'd be talking to at least 30 to 40 people, maybe 45 people that are, that could be a really good, match for you and your audience, what you're providing. So that's our big value proposition, is we help, and then we help you monetize your 5,700 people, because if 1/4 of 1% became a client, um, you'd have about 20 clients, 1/4 of 1%. And so what you want to do is convert them either a client or a raving fan slash brand ambassador. So we're really good at that. We know how to build communities, because you want to take connections, and that's what everyone has is connections, and convert it over to community, which is, or your tribe, which is way different. And so that's really what we provide for clients. And and then you can monetize, because you've got a great, you've got something here that's very special. It's very unique. I think you're definitely in a blue ocean, kind of all by yourself, which is a good thing rather than the red ocean.
Yeah. I'll pick
And
those
yeah,
blue
I
oceans
mean,
every time.
oh yeah, and they're hard to get. It's hard to be in a blue ocean. It's very difficult to be in a blue ocean. And when you are, you want to. The key word is leverage.
Agreed.
You want to be able to leverage what you already have, leverage your experience, your story. I mean, all the amazing things that you bring to the table, as of right now, which is very impressive. But I think, yeah, I think you get in front of the right people. I think, how many of these programs would you, these high ticket programs would you like to do the rest of the year?
So we've been having a lot of conversations about that because obviously there is just one of me. And so I have team around me. So when I was running Legends Research, I had 17 top consultants. Uh, the way that I structured the business model for Legends uh, works really well for me and is the model that I want to continue. Are you familiar with the Dagara tribe out of Africa?
I've heard of them. I've heard of them.
So the Dagara tribe are one of those amazing tribes that haven't been as influenced by the Western world, and we can still learn anthropologically by visiting them. We can go back in time, essentially. And so the story is that these Western researchers and educators traveled to the Dagara tribe thinking that they were going to do something very nice, and they wanted to bring the game of soccer to the kids there. So they brought a soccer ball, and they taught them how to kick. They taught them how what the rules were. They set up nets on both sides of a rock field, essentially. Um, and it just wasn't going well. They were losing the battle to teach these kids how to play soccer. And so they called a timeout and stopped for lunch. And the adults are over eating, the visitors, and they look over and the kids have started their own game. And they are sitting toe to toe in a circle. And instead of an adversarial relationship where you keep score and there's a winner and a loser, they are rolling the ball back and forth and then kicking it with their feet and doing tricks in the middle, but making sure that every single person in that circle has an opportunity to enjoy the ball, which is the new unique thing. And so when I formed Legends, I didn't do it with contracts. I don't really believe in them. And I know that's naive. I know it is. But my obligation was to commit to be their chief of research, to be their link into my Legends format, which also comes from Dagara. The Dagara women, when they become pregnant with a baby, uh, they don't ever talk about what am I going to name this baby. The mother and the unborn baby commune with each other, and together they find the baby's name. As the mother gestates and is pregnant, she and the baby create the song that the baby will be known by for the rest of their lives. When the baby is born, the first introduction is to the father. And to introduce the baby to his father, the mother sings the song that the baby and the mother have created. Then the mother, the father, and the baby now come out of the birthing hut and they introduce the baby to the tribal elders. They introduce the baby by singing the song. Now the tribal elders know the song. So now the tribal elders, the mom, the dad, the baby, they go and introduce the baby to the tribe. They sing the baby's song. Now the entire tribe knows the baby's song. So as this child grows, whenever that child has success, the tribe sings that child's song. If the
Wow.
child does something wrong and it is in a shit trouble, guess what they do?
They sing the song or
Sing
no?
the exact same song. So when we teach companies to write a legend, we teach them to write their song. And that song remains the same. It doesn't matter if they blast it from a news channel. It doesn't matter if they're the highest influencer that you've ever seen. It doesn't matter if the only people that hear it are their internal company, but the song stays the same, and that's where it resonates. So when I do business, and as I expand and scale, my tribe grows and my access to experts is very deep. I have a very, very deep bench that the new agreement is Kim cannot carry the world on her back. Everybody needs to know Kim does not carry the world anymore. But I will be the front and I will help to generate this concept of business and this way of operating in integrity and authenticity. I will do that. And then as we grow, then I have people in place that will be able to conduct a vision quest with a company as I would, to be able to conduct the level of research that I'm committed to the Legends brand always maintaining. So I have a plan in place, and I am being extremely patient because I won't rush it. And I am feeling the law of attraction in action, and I am standing in my space and people are coming.
Nice. Well, I got a hard stop here in about 8 minutes, but this has been very interesting. So I guess I have a question for you. One of the we've helped thousands of consultants and coaches. Like right now, we're working with a very accomplished consultant. He's had BMW as a client for about 8 years, and he flies to different countries where teams are, and he works on team culture and uh, alignment as far as visions and building, all those, and an assessment on where everybody's at and really take them to that next level. So we've got a lot of clients like that really they go very deep and very, very smart. Um, and so, and like one of the things we're helping with, he wants more clients like BMW. So we're helping him find though, because those are not easy clients to find. And so that's what we do is we go in there and do all the heavy lifting because it would be a full-time job to go in there and do all the digging and follow up and all those things. So if you had any interest in that, us helping you do that, what would take you maybe 5 years or longer, we could collapse time and help you accomplish that in under 12 months because everything is leveraged and everything goes at a much faster velocity as far as Because if you can double or triple or quadruple the number of people that you're talking to that are quality, not just tire kickers, but people that really have the capacity and have the interest in having you help
Mhm.
them. Um, if you can double or triple those numbers, you're going to double or triple your revenue, and you'll shorten the time proportionally. So if you can triple your meetings, I mean, you should be able to have at least 10 meetings a month, quality. Um, Normally, most people, uh, that's not easy to do when they're going after really uh, high ticket companies. So if you had, so I guess that's something you can think about if you had some interest in that.
I don't think I really understand what you're proposing.
Oh, I mean, what we do is if you like us to help you put people on your calendar and grow your network through LinkedIn, we have a whole process in place. So if you'd like us, I have a team of 35 people. If you have some interest in us helping you get quality meetings so that in the morning you wake up, like on a Monday morning, you have people on your calendar for the week that could be a client. So you might not be ready for that. You might not have an interest in that. But if that's the hardest part about being an entrepreneur right now, whether you're a seasoned company or you're a startup. As a startup, that's the hardest part is getting people to talk to.
I wish I was having a little harder a time of it. Like I was just
Okay.
somehow my calendar is getting double booked. There's a glitch, and so I'm getting booked over bookings and working on slimming that down. I'm not in a position to take a lot more meetings yet.
Okay. Are these potential clients? Oh, then whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're definitely in that top 3%. If you've got more meetings than you can handle, that's extremely rare, very unusual, and you should do fantastic then. That's the one thing that when you crack that code on getting meetings, everything else works.
Now I know you have to go, but a potential other avenue of conversation I would like to have. It's easy for me to schedule meetings on LinkedIn, but that used to be a product that we offered through Legend People. We actually broke LinkedIn because we hacked the recruiter site to do what you're talking about, and we shut the entire system down, and we got our hands slapped pretty good. Um, so we have an appetite for that when we are working with clients. It's something that they need. I would love to explore a relationship where we become referral partners.
Sure,
That would be of
absolutely.
interest to me.
So, what I'll do is I will send you an explainer video that kind of shows you our process, and then you can get an idea of how we help our clients. And I'll send you some case studies, and then you'll have my email. And if that really resonates, um, message me back, and we can certainly have a follow up.
This has been really fun.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for sharing your story with me.
It's your fault. When you have a stroke, you lose that boundary between emotion and logic, and those the music on those videos just you kind of got me in a space.
Did you know that this comes from a neuroscientist? A 1 minute video has the same emotional impact as 1.8 million written words.
I'm a teacher. I know that very, very well.
Okay. I figured you would.
And I
Because if
use
a
it.
picture's worth 1,000,
I
right?
use it. I trick them and I teach them.
Because if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then a video is worth 1,000
It is.
pictures.
It is, and it will play over and over and over in your head. And if it's a catchy tune, like you tell me if that little legend ditty that I wrote doesn't
Oh
play
yeah.
over again in your head.
Oh yeah. That's a big hook. No, I'll send you a couple of things
That'd
you
be
can
great.
review. I love what you're doing. I think that I think you have something here in the marketplace. It's very unique. It's very different. You're going to have to find. You're going to have to find the right. You're going to have to find a special founder and CEO that's evolved that will get this because there's a lot of founders out there that are kind of got that Neanderthal DNA in them.
We like them
You know
too.
what I mean? No, yeah, but knuckle scraping and they kind of, it's, so you got to find the right person that you're going to have to connect with them right here and then right up here. But there's plenty of people out there that will get what you're talking about because this affects team culture. Churn in companies is the biggest problem they're all dealing with right now. So if this slows churn down, I got to ask you, when did you leave University of Phoenix? Phoenix, because my daughter has been there about 22
Really?
years.
What's her name?
Sari Solis, she runs the nursing
Oh, good for
division.
her. So I worked for them as an executive with Insight Schools, and then they said, "Kim, we need you to go into our doctoral studies program because we need you to walk in both paths." So they actually scholarshiped me, and it took me 8 years to get my doctorate. It was ridiculous. It was my own fault.
But you got it.
Did.
Once you get that, nobody can take it away from you. So you have it. But my daughter's been there for 22
That's
years,
great.
and when when they go to different conferences and they need a
Oh,
presenter,
good for her.
she she is. I mean, she's a
Love
badass,
it.
and she goes. I mean, she walks into the room. She owns the room. She commands the room, but she does it in a
Good
very
girl.
they're all lean into her, but she's got the she's got that it factor, but she has a lot of people that she's responsible for, but she's very good at what she does. But I thought maybe that name would
I'm
ring
gonna
a
have to
bell.
I'm gonna have to look. So there's people that I recognize their faces and I know that it's one of those glitches that I still haven't filled in. And then sometimes people have to remind me and say, "We met. I do know you." And I try.
But if you might recognize her face, but she's very, very, very visual.
Or maybe you
Um,
should just introduce us. I like happening girls.
sure, yeah, yeah. I would. You know what? I'll do an introduction. Just you guys could just meet.
I need
I
more
think you guys
powerful
would have
women
a great
around
conversation.
me. There are not enough of us.
You guys would have a great conversation. She's very
Good.
spiritual. She's been to India 3 different
Oh,
times, once for a month, and so she's studied, all the things that they teach over there. And but you guys, I think would have actually a lot in common.
that would be fun.
So I'll do an email introduction. You
Yeah, let's
guys,
make us some friends.
just yeah, I think you guys have a lot in common. So I'll do
Awesome.
that. All right. Well, Kimberly, this was fun. This was great. I enjoyed meeting you. And again, this is what I love about what I do. I get to meet very, very smart and interesting people along the
Me
way. And
too.
it's just I always learn something from
That's
everybody.
a good way to live.
It's the only way. All
You
right.
too.
Take care. Bye bye.
These are the voices rising through time. Truth in the rhythm, fire in the line. From silence to signal, from echo to flame. Legends don't whisper, they rise with a name. Voices of legends. This is the upcast. 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 Voices of legends. This is the upcast.